Okay, so 1/4" drill bit.
As long as he drills it straight.
Yeah, don't f it up, Michael.
Now, you...
All right, so a lot of you might remember when we uninstalled our factory rear steel bumper in order to install the moto-built rear bumper.
And our quarter panels were jacked up.
Like this. We've all been able to see this for months now, how it constantly flexes up into the quarter. What we haven't been able to see is this. Holy crap.
Like this.
That is ridiculous. Like this?
Like this.
Like that?
With a wiffle ball bat. This is unscripted.
So our quarter panels were not pretty. They basically were mildly destroyed, especially on that bottom edge on both sides because of the factory rear steel bumper crushing up into it. However, we have swapped to the moto-built rear bumper, which is fantastic, but it doesn't quite cover the entire bottom lip of those quarter panels.
Plus, ours are all jacked up from...
Plus, ours are jacked up and they just look...
I just said that.
They just looked awful. They look awful.
I put some black spray paint on it so it wouldn't rust.
Which makes it look even
and then
tackier.
And then speaking of rusties.
Oh, so today we are installing... That was a good segue.
Yeah, I don't know. Rust.
So today we are installing Rusty's rear fascia on our quarter panels on our JL. A, to make it look better, but B, to fully protect our quarter panels once and for all against rocks. And, well, we don't have a factory steel bumper anymore, but it might be a good idea for those of you who do have one. And although you do have to drill into the quarter panels, it is a super easy install. It will add a ton of protection. And first things first, uninstalling our rear bumper. What are you doing, Michael?
Oh, I'm just tendering it up.
He's smoking all the cigarettes he can until he quits in 10 days.
He's coming with us to the Winter Jamboree, and his New Year's resolution is to quit smoking when we leave on the 14th. All right, let's install this thing. Okay, so once you have the rear bumper removed, next step is pretty simple as well. All you have to do is mock up the guards and mark exactly where your holes are gonna be that you're gonna need to drill. We're just using a permanent marker. Super easy. Take it off, and there you go. Oh man, that's just...
It's pretty.
It's like a little work of art.
Yeah.
Actually. So yeah, so that's what these guards will do. They're basically gonna make sure that that does not happen again. So the important part here is to remember that you definitely want to mock up and drill the outer guards first before you do the center one. That way you can get the outer guards in place and you can actually properly center that center guard. Yeah, the center guard. So Michael's going to go ahead and start drilling. He's starting with the smaller drill and he's just going to work his way up. Okay, so next up is going to be drilling out just the upper holes with a 7/16 drill bit, and those are the ones that are going to require your Nutsert. The reason for that is because that body panel goes actually back into a different body panel and you can't get a nut to the back of those bolts. So it's just those top holes that will require the Nutsert. So we're going to drill those out, and then the bottom ones will be a 1/4" drill bit, and those will require the normal nut and bolts. So as you can see, Michael's gone ahead and used that 7/16 drill bit to go ahead and drill out just those upper holes. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And of course, that centerpiece will require a couple of Nutserts as well, but we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Now, although Rusty's does include this handy dandy Nutsert installation tool, which just uses an Allen wrench, it looks like, in order to install those Nutserts, Michael here has a much more handy dandy Nutsert tool. Which you can actually buy pretty cheaply off of Amazon. I'll let him show you guys what it looks like.
You thread it on, you stick it into your hole, and you just pinch, and it compresses it, pinches it between the body, and then you take it off and you unspin it like this.
In order to unscrew
and
the
screw
Nutsert.
it from the Nutsert itself, and bam, it'll be installed.
So super easy tool. You can buy it pretty cheaply on Amazon. I'll see if maybe I can find a link for one, and I'll include it in the description below. Either that or I'll include it in the pinned comment, one way or the other. So as you can see, Michael's gone ahead and attached the Nutsert onto the tool. You slide it into the hole. You squeeze. and then you unscrew it. And voila! You have a nicely installed nutsert. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for those upper corner holes. And for those of you who are wondering why it happens to look like just Michael and I are doing this installation and Kevin's not doing any work whatsoever, he's here.
I'm here.
He's working on something else though.
Got stuff back there that I'm painting.
I can't show you what it is yet.
Yeah, we can't. But it'll be coming in about 3 weeks. Anyway, we're gonna get it installed and tested, and
more surprises, more goodies. But you'll have to wait for this one for just a few more weeks. And for those of you who are wondering why Michael is actually helping us with this installation, other than being just a fantastic friend, it's also because he's already installed these rusty fascia rear guards on his Jeep as well.
And this is going to be our partner in crime the rest of the year. He's going to be our wheeling buddy, so he will be coming with us all over the country to all the wheeling trips for the whole year, or as much as he can. Probably for the whole year. So this is our
probably for the whole
this
year.
Is our wheeling buddy in crime. We're going to run the same tires. We're going to run kind of all the same setup, and split all the tools and everything between us.
That way we are never alone. We always have a wheeling buddy. And of course, I know a lot of people have asked us to do a walk around on Michael's Jeep. I promise we will. That is coming. We'll probably do that here in a week or two, right before we leave for the winter Jeep Jamboree in Sand Hollow.
There you go.
Kevin's gonna go run an errand now. Oh my God. And we're gonna finish this. And then from there, you can go ahead and start on the bottom ones and threading them into the proper nuts. This can be a little trickier. Sometimes having tiny hands helps. Oh man, this is fucking hard. Wait. Is that it?
I don't hear no chattering anymore.
No. I think that's it.
Tighten it up, quick, before it falls back off.
I think that's it.
Good job. Way to go.
Yeah, it's on. Cool. Okay, so once you have all of those bolts tightened down, next up is the centerpiece. Now, the centerpiece does provide a level of protection, but for the most part, at least in my opinion, more than anything, it sort of just makes the look cohesive because it adds that black strip right there across the middle as well.
That's a nice word.
Yeah, big
like
vocabulary. Now, Rusty's does include nuts and bolts for the centerpiece. There's only 3 holes there. We're gonna use nutserts because I think Rusty's intends for you to go in through the jack stand section. Good luck if you wanna go that route. You're more than welcome to. We're just gonna use nutserts. It's gonna be simpler, much simpler. If you open up your little back panel and you take out your jack, it's all fine and dandy. You can reach the nut or the hole that'll go right there dead center. But there's another hole that's right about there. However, there's an inner wall that stops you right about there. You can probably get to it maybe if you take that off, but I'm not gonna waste my time. Instead, we're just gonna use nutserts. Okay, so when it comes to installing the centerpiece, there's a method that we're gonna use specifically to make sure that we do it right the first time around and we don't drill where we aren't supposed to. Basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna mock up the whole thing and mark exactly where the center hole is once we have exactly where we want it to be. That way, we can actually bolt in just that center hole and tighten it down and the whole panel won't shift on us when we mark and drill for these outer holes. Now, as I showed you, we're gonna use nutserts, but we're gonna use them just for the outside. So the outside will be drilled at a 7/16, but we are gonna use the provided nut and bolt, which is a 1/4 inch drill bit for the center one, just because that is super easy to get to from the jack stand area, right?
Yep.
Right. All right. Oh God.
Don't mess that up, Brittany.
Good enough?
You might have been a little off on that.
Oh, you shut your mouth. Hey. Okay, so 1/4 inch drill bit.
As long as he drills it straight.
Yeah, don't f it up, Michael.
Now you should be using tape. You should be putting down tape and
Look
marking.
at it.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
That one is.
You don't see nothing. There's nothing going on.
Okay.
There's already
So,
messed up
yeah,
stuff
no,
here,
Kevin
so.
has a good point. I hadn't mentioned this earlier. Ideally,
I do have a good point.
when you're not us, I feel like that was intended as a sexual innuendo, but it was like a really bad one. Anyways, ideally, you do want to put tape down and then mark on top of the tape and drill through the tape, and what that will do is it'll prevent any paint hopefully from cracking around the hole that
Yeah.
you're drilling.
Michael.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How's that, a family barbecue?
Do as we say, not as we do. The center one we're doing, the actual provided
it goes through the
nut
inside of
bolt. Yep, because we can get to it very easily. Right there. Look at that. Also, I'd like to just point out that Kevin is like one giant plug/billboard right now.
Yeah, but it's because they gave us nice shirts, and I don't actually have regular clothes.
Kevin's entire wardrobe basically consists of like free gear that he's gotten over the last couple months from different companies. That's why if you ever see him wearing like Metal Cloak, Steer Smarts, Best Top, anything, really, it's just because he's gotten free stuff, and that's what he wears because he's too lazy to buy. Oh, we're working still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Make Kevin do that. Let him do some type of work.
That's
There
pretty
we go.
good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Looks better than the way yours came out.
So funny, guy. So funny.
The truth hurts.
All right, so that's why, you guys, we did that center one first, is it basically kept this from shifting on us while we marked these hole here.
These hole here?
These hole here. Unique New York. Unique New York.
Now, once your husband and your friends stop making fun of you, you can start drilling the 2 outer holes that you just marked, which are going to be, again, 7/16 for us because we're using our own nutserts.
Also, you should be using a center punch. You should mark those holes. You should use a center. You should punch them so you get a straight on drill, straight on hole. So use a center punch. We have them, but
I guess if you want to be like all proper and whatnot.
yeah. So center punch and tape.
Center punch and tape.
Whoa! Don't be wallowing that out.
Whoa.
Why are you wallowing that out?
Because I'm doing something custom.
This isn't your personal.
I'm doing something custom.
You don't need custom work.
Okay, so you've got all of your holes drilled, which means we're on our last 3 bolts, and then we're done.
Voila.
Oh man, that looks so clean now. So this is the whole reason we're doing this. So, I mean, A, it cleans this up. I know you can still see that from that factory steel bumper crap that we originally had on here. But if you look now, all of this bottom edge of the quarter panel.
Hold on, let me polish this up.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. The bottom edge of this quarter panel is now completely protected, which is fantastic. So you guys might remember when Kevin and I came so perilously close to hitting this at Chinaman Gulch with my mom recently.
I hit your mom.
So not as big of a worry anymore. You didn't hit my mom. What? Why would you even Oh God. This is gonna be right on the quarter. Oh God, no, the bumper's working. All right, go slow, Kev. Oh my God. Oh God. That's gonna hit the quarter, Kev. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Oh my God. I know, it is. Just go. No, it's got the bumper. You're good. You're good. It's just the bumper. Yeah, Moto Bill. Yeah. So no longer much of a concern. This is going to do a great job adding protection to the edge of the quarter panel here. All right, you guys, so there you have it. Finally, officially, our quarter panels are fully protected thanks to the Rusty's rear fascia, and it just looks so much cleaner. As I said in the intro though, super simple install, I'd say mostly, even though Kevin didn't help whatsoever. I helped a little bit. Michael helped the most bit. But if you guys have any questions whatsoever, as always, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. I'll leave a link both for the Rusty's fascia and again for that little cool Nutsert tool that Michael has. But in the meantime, as always, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time.
Bye. See ya.
Mwah.
Michael.
Michael. You
Bye.
get a blow kiss. Okay, so you've got all your heel.